In over there, and then we'll go and get started. All right, let's see. Oh, Pam, did you get that link sent over to your friend? I didn't see your text at all. I'm so sorry. Let's see if you were able to do that. Hi, everybody. Faith says, I'm here, but my camera's not working. Okay. Hi, Sherry. All right, that's great. Okay, good. All right, so just making sure we're streamed over to Facebook. Looks like we're good. It's a little black on my screen. There we go. Oh, Pam, did you get that link? Well, now it's going to talk to me while I'm talking. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm going to have my Facebook kind of hanging out over here to the side. So if you ladies are in Facebook and you want to come over to the Zoom room, this is the place to be if you want to be entered into the giveaway. Excuse me, for today. My voice is feeling it, y'all. It's feeling it. I'm like, wow, I've been talking a lot this week. And I typically am kind of a talker anyway, so it shouldn't be anything incredibly new for me, but it's just funny that I've never really done this much. I think talking in 1 week, like, back to back, presenting and all of this. This is so new to me to do it this way. And I'm thankful. I do a lot of YouTube videos for you guys that have come over here from YouTube, so you know all about that. But as far as doing hour-long presentations 4 days in a row, shoo. All right, but I'm excited. We're going to go ahead and get started. It's 11 o'clock. And like I said, ladies, if you're over in the Facebook group, I'm going to be trying to pay attention to you as well, and paying attention to the chat. If you ladies have anything you need to ask about or comments, you can go ahead and leave those in the Zoom chat as well. But this is the place to be if you're over there. Come on over to the Zoom room. The link is in the events for today, and you guys can just come on over and be part of this with us over here. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. As ladies are coming in, I'm just letting them into the Zoom. So if you see my cursor moving around, like I told the ladies before I streamed over, that's what's going on here. But let me hit record real quick before I forget. I almost always forget to do that. Okay, that way I have it later. And if something ever happens, anyways, technology, we were just talking about that, Miss Pam and I. It's not reliable. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Day 4 is here, you guys. I'm so excited you have made it this far. You've been with me all week, and I'm just so proud of you for sticking with it. I know that there is a lot of you ladies who have just been following along. Whether you get to be live or not, you're coming along for the journey the whole way. So I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited for you. There's lots and lots and lots of you entered for the giveaway, but hey, that's awesome. I'm so excited. With a quick recap about what we did yesterday, we've done a lot this week, ladies. We have really tackled some serious stuff this week, and it's just been phenomenal hearing your stories, your testimonies coming in. And I'm just loving every bit of it, every ounce of work and lost sleep and prayer, and all of it has been worth it for you to experience breakthrough this week. And I'm very thankful. So yesterday we really dove into emotional eating, which was like by far the most. I was ready to get to day 3, like right now, because I knew that was going to bring a lot of things up and start to be able to reveal things in your life that you need to heal. And that's what we talked about yesterday, how to feel, deal, and heal. And then also we addressed briefly how to push past the desire to quit when you're experiencing those weight loss stalls. So if you haven't had a chance, go back and watch day 3. I know it will bless you for sure. But today we're going to be talking about healthy inside and out. Okay, what does healthy look like for you? And this is really important because true health, okay, looks like it starts from the inside, okay? It eventually shows up on the outside. It's all about thinking for better health, okay? It's taking time to stop and deal with how you're feeling and what's happening inside you as you're going, it's about working through your story. And that's when I discovered that all of my doing was the problem with my weight loss. I thought my doing was the fix, but I discovered it was not. And if you remember my story from the beginning, from day one, where I shared with you, I started a YouTube channel and I didn't know what to do with the YouTube channel. So I started just sharing the overflow of my heart from my book. And then I started a diet. And so I couldn't find a lot of good stuff on the internet to help me out with the diet. So I decided I'm going to just record what I'm doing to help someone else out. But in the process of doing that diet, as I was talking it out to myself, basically in this room, or well, it was in a different room at the time, I was talking to my camera a lot. I was having a lot of revelations as God was like poking me. Hey, 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 so it was just amazing. And if you'll remember, during that time, I started to ask myself, and address the thoughts that I was having, about dieting and all the things. And I had to ask myself those really hard questions that I shared with you guys on day one. And that's when I started asking God to show me what healthy actually looked like for me. So that was in 2020. Prior to 2020, I had no idea what healthy looked like. I just thought it was a number on the scale. But during that process, that's when I realized I wasn't actually going to maintain the weight loss that I had, whatever weight loss I actually did have, when my mind had already decided that I was going to go right back to my old ways the minute the number on the scale said, you've hit your goal. Like I would remember telling myself this, and I shared this in a lot of my videos, even during that process, that little, like, whoa, there's a lot of light bulbs coming on here, that I couldn't wait to get off the diet. I realized I had this thought because I was so ready to jump right back into headfirst into my bag of Doritos. And it was just my thing at the time, Doritos. It was my issue. One of my major issues for sure. I could eat an entire bag probably, and my mouth would be hurting from all that powdered cheese, but I would just keep eating. Didn't even realize mindless eating, right? So that was a big problem. I kept telling myself I was going to go right back, and I couldn't wait to be done with this diet so I could eat Doritos, so I could eat whatever it was. I just remember Doritos. I'm sure there was other things. But during that process, I really started to address the thoughts that I had about that. And I started to ask myself, like I said, those hard questions. And I really started to ask God to show me, what to do. And I remember I shared a little tiny bit of this with you guys earlier this week in one of our sessions, but I want to just remind you. I went to my doctor. This kind of epiphany happened. I went to my doctor about a year ago for a physical, and they did the scale, which we all hate because doctor's office scales are always 10 pounds heavier than our home scale. So it always makes us feel like we have to starve before we go to the doctor, before we can get on the scale. But anyways, this day, I remember he was a new doctor, and I was just kind of giving him the rundown. And I said, I have lost X amount of weight so far, and I still think I got about 20 more pounds to lose. And he just looked at me with the strangest look on his face. And he said, no, ma'am, no. And he just said it just like that. And he said, if you lost 20 pounds, you would be unhealthy. You're healthy right now where you're at. And that was so mind blowing to me because I had no idea. I had so ingrained in my mind that I had to be this certain number on the scale before I could be healthy. And I'm sharing some pictures with you guys right here. You can see me with my son, in the yellow shirt right there. Now, this picture was taken a very long time ago. My son that you see there is now 19 years old. I think he was probably 9 or 10 in that picture, maybe. But I was very thin in this picture, and I weighed probably about 130 pounds or so. And I was pretty unhealthy. So that was not good. Even though I looked healthy, oh, she's thin, she must be healthy. I was not healthy. So I want to show you a few more pictures. Okay. The picture number 1 is of me about that same time as I just showed you with my oldest son being 10 years ago or so. I was about 125 to 130 pounds in picture number 1. And I looked great. Everybody told me Oh, you look so great. I'm so proud of you. You've done a great job. I had lost 100 pounds. It took me about 4 years, but I had done it in multiple different ways. Some were healthy when I wasn't even actually trying and I was just exercising and I was still eating Chick-fil-A and hot dogs and macaroni and cheese and all the things. And my body was just okay to lose weight. So it did. And then there was times during that process where I like just starved myself. I just did not eat hardly nothing, more than 500 calories a day. Oh no, not me. It was terrible. So I actually got down to the smallest weight I'd ever been. My goal was to be 125 pounds and to know what it felt like to be skinny. That was my only goal. That was what I was running towards. I was running away from the fat me, the one that hated myself because I was fat, because I didn't have control over, myself, my food, my health. That I wanted to run away from that Catherine and run to a new Catherine who was thinner and so magically would be somebody different, I guess. And that was my goal. So I had never been thin in my entire life, I think since I was 4. Okay, so I'd always been heavier and I was running away from myself. I was trying to just decide, like, I just want to know what it feels like to be skinny. And that identity shift that I talked about in day 2 hadn't happened. I hadn't really said, I want to be somebody who's healthy. I just said, I want to know what it feels like to be skinny. And that's what I was running towards. And I got there. You can see that. And then the problem was, that I was miserable. I still hated myself, just like I hated who I was when I was 100 pounds heavier. I hadn't changed anything about the inside of me, had not changed. Everything was exactly the same as it had been before. And it was really frustrating. And eventually I started gaining that weight back. And I was terrified to eat at that number 1 picture. I was terrified to eat anything because I just knew in my mind, I had already agreed that if I ate, I was going to get fat again. So I needed to be very, very conscious of not eating. And it was borderline probably like an eating disorder starting to occur in the opposite direction. I wasn't starving literally, like I wouldn't eat, but I wouldn't eat very much. And I wouldn't, there was a lot of things that I was like, I'm not going to eat that, because I was terrified that I was going to get fat again. But the whole time I still hated myself. And once I did start eating, of course I did gain the weight back, and you see that I put a little arrow there that says getting healthy. And there's the fatter version of me at number 2. That was not me getting healthy necessarily, but I had to go back to the beginning and start over again. Okay. Because if you do something and you don't do it right and you get to the end, things are going to be missing along the way. They may break. Like if you started building something and you forgot pieces, or you just tried to hurry up and skip some steps, and somebody sat down in a chair that you were building and you didn't put in all the pieces, they're going to fall. And that was the same exact thing that I experienced with this. I was doing all that I knew to do, but I was leaving out a lot of really important pieces along the way. And so I gained all that weight back in number 2, and I was 100 pounds heavier once again. And then in number 3, you'll see that picture of me just right in between, like right in between those 2, 1 and 2. Okay. And that was me being healthy and getting healthy in 2020, where I was realizing what healthy actually looked like for me, and that it was not a number on the scale. So here's what healthy looks like for me. And I put a little picture in here of me just being me. If y'all don't know me personally, this is me being silly, hanging out with my kids. I was sitting in a storage bin, I think somewhere at my sister's house in this picture. My little girl was pulling me around and just having some fun. I was healthy in that way for most of my life. I tried to enjoy life. But what healthy looks like for me was releasing the pain of the past, was walking in forgiveness, extending and receiving it, was being joyful and kind and grateful and content. It was taking breaks from my screens often. It was having a daily prayer habit. Healthy was practicing Christian meditation and taking time to be with my friends. And friends, I miss you. I have not had time for you in 3 weeks because I've been prepping for this. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I miss you so much. Healthy looks like eating foods that fueled me and not just filled me. Okay. Healthy was staying hydrated and moving in ways that brought me joy. Healthy looks like laughing and playing. I am that mom at the park that you see. Maybe you don't. I don't see very many of them. But if you see me at the park, I'm not going to be sitting on the bench. I am playing on the equipment, sliding down the slides, playing on the swings. I'm the biggest kid. And that's why I love having kids, because it helps me kind of bring that out and say, okay, I still have like the excuse to play. Um, so healthy is agreeing that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And when you agree with that, that's super healthy. It's avoiding rigid eating plans and quick fixes. It's saying yes to foods that fuel you, like I said before, and just not fill you. It's making those healthy lifestyle choices because you want to, not because you have to. It is a lifestyle. Healthy is who you are. Healthy is coming into agreement with what God says about you, and it's surrounding yourself with community. Healthy is about loving yourself. It's about how you feel, how you nourish your body. Are you sleeping better? Are you staying hydrated? Like, how's your body composition? Is it changing? What are your measurements? It's not about a number on the scale. You can know if you're doing well based on how you feel. You will know. Are your clothes feeling, looser? Do you have more energy? Like, does your daily routine make you feel happier, or is it just like sucking the life out of you? Like, you'll know the answers to these questions. So I want you to think about this and even go through and answer some of these questions I put for you in the in the workbook. But I want you to decide what healthy looks like for you. It's not a number on the scale, and it doesn't look like the woman on the magazine at the checkout stand. It doesn't look like what you're bombarded with in the commercials and on social media, with everybody seemingly thin and perfect and tight. And let's just stop it all right now. Like, let's just do that. Okay. Decide what health really looks like for your life, yours. And you can, think about how can you become healthier, and focus on like different things that doesn't have to do with a certain size or a number on the scale. And I want you to think about what things can you do to be healthier mentally, and what are some things that you can do today, because today is still like, we have a long day still. If you're watching this live with me, it's like 11:20 in the morning where I'm at. We still have a long day. So what are some things, one or two things that you can do today to be healthier physically? And just kind of ask yourself those questions. And I want you to also ask yourself this, like, what's your story? As we've been going through this challenge, I've been talking a lot about stories. And it's really important to recognize your story. How many times have you tried to get healthy? How many ways have you tried to get healthy? And what's stopping you from making consistent, healthy choices? What is your story? So I'm going to take a few minutes right now, and I want to tell you Jane's story. And while I read her story, I'm going to read it. And while I'm reading her story, I want you to just grab a pen and paper if you can, or grab out your notes on your phone. Go ahead and start doing that right now. And as you're listening to me share her story, I want you to think about if there's one or two things maybe that you can relate to in her story, or even just close your eyes and just listen to her story as I read it to you, and kind of think about, one or two things that you can relate to in the process. So this is Jane's story. I'm going to read it to you now, okay? Jane wakes up to the alarm blazing in her ear, beckoning for her to get up for her workout. After all, it's the only time she has before her busy day starts to actually fit it in. Running the kids to school, staying on her A game at work, and being out late at soccer games takes over the rest of her day. She's tired physically and tired of trying to achieve her goals to get healthier. As she hits the snooze button, she realizes that she forgot to meal prep the night before, which means that she'll have to eat on the go today. So what's the point anyway? So she rolls over for just 15 more minutes of sleep. And as she drifts off, she thinks, I'll just start tomorrow. I'm too tired. I'm too busy to worry about it today. I'll get healthy someday, just not today. Hurrying out the door, she grabs her coffee and a protein bar. On her way to drop the kids off to school, she thinks, I'm already tired and my day hasn't even started. As she waves goodbye to the kids, she remembers it's pumpkin spice season and that there's a Starbucks on her way to work. I have time. A little pick me up is just what I need. I've been so busy. I deserve a treat. Jane can feel the excitement welling up on the inside of her as she nears the pickup window, and she thinks maybe today won't be so bad after all. She starts to feel hopeful about her day. With pumpkin spice, I can do anything. An hour later in the board meeting, she's crashing hard. She struggles to focus on the agenda. Why didn't I drink water today? I know better. Geez, I'm so stupid. I always do this, she thinks as she excuses herself to the restroom. On her way, she spots the vending machine and she hears her stomach growling. Oh, I don't need this right now. I should have eaten better for breakfast. With lunch still hours away, Jane reaches for the snack machine to just hold her over as she makes a silent commitment to eat a sensible lunch, only salad and water. Unfortunately, by lunchtime, she's even more stressed with a pile of deadlines that's compiled after the board meeting, and she's feeling famished from eating empty calories all morning. A salad, she thinks, not today. I need a cheeseburger and a Frosty. It's hard to drive and eat a salad anyway. So she's home just in time to change into her soccer mom clothes and run right back out the door. It's concessions for dinner tonight, but that's okay though. Concession food's part of the fun. The thrill of the game comes out best with nachos in her lap. The team's won, yay! It's time to celebrate with ice cream. And as she slides into bed, she rehearses the events of her day. Feeling guilty, defeated, and bloated, she wonders how she'll ever see change. Is she doomed to repeat this cycle day after day? Then the record starts. I'll never lose this weight. I'm such a poor planner, and I'm way too busy to worry about it anyway. As she scrolls social media to shut the noise off in her mind, she spots a post from her friend who's lost 20 pounds in 1 month. She can't believe it. And she feels a little jealous even at first, but curiosity wins. She asks her friend, what are you doing, girl? How are you losing all that weight? And getting an instant reply, hey girl, you have to try this diet. It's amazing. It only costs $400 to get started and you'll lose all your weight super fast. Jane quickly replies without even thinking, I'm in. Feeling hopeful that this might finally be the answer, she rolls over and drifts off to sleep, knowing that it's not. How many times has this been your story? So if you're like I used to be, and you struggle with emotional eating when you're stressed out, life gets so heavy and busy and you run to food to numb out. If you resolve to start a new diet every Monday because staying consistent is hard and life's busy, it's just too busy to plan for those healthy meals. If you're tired of pouring money into diet plans, pills, and products that promise big and deliver little, if you feel guilty when you eat certain foods and even ashamed of yourself when your attempts to lose weight fail, if you're frustrated with yo-yo dieting and you wonder if you're ever going to be able to lose the weight and keep it off, if you've tried to create new healthy habits in the past, but they never seem to stick, and you've done all the things to lose weight, but you just can't seem to maintain it once you've hit your goal. Okay, ladies, you've tried all the things. You've done all you know to do, and you keep ending up right back where you started. If this is you, I have great news for you. You are not alone. There is a better way, and you do not have to fight to do this on your own. You don't have to try and figure it out all on your own. And I know I've said this before, and I'll say it again, I'll say it a bunch more times, but the diet industry is a $60 billion per year industry with a 95% failure rate. That is mind-blowing to me, because that means we're doing a lot of the same things, expecting to get different results, and we're not. And so you're not alone in this, okay? And here's my question to you. Are you finally ready to stop dieting and start living? Because it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. And you know, there is not a lot of freedom when you're bound up to diets and you're bound up to what you're allowed to eat and what you're not allowed to eat. And Paul says everything is permissible. So he's given you permission. He's given us all permission. Like, it's okay. Everything's permissible, but everything is not beneficial. So he's saying there's things that are, you can do what you want, is what he's saying, but not everything is good for you. Okay. Not everything is going to be the best thing for you. So the dieting isn't the answer. There is some things I'm not going to tell you like ever that you need to just jump off of the wagon and go start eating every, junk food that you can find, because you're like, this isn't about taking our bras off and throwing them around. Okay. That's not what I'm trying to say. This isn't like freedom revolution. Like we're out there. Okay. I know this is an extreme example, but I'm just saying that's not what I am saying. What I am saying is that we need freedom from the diet industry. We need freedom from all this stuff that we've been trying to do. And I just want to share with you a little testimony from a client that I've been working with, Joan. She says, "Thank you, Catherine. I'm learning, and this is a journey. I'm so grateful for not being obsessed and weighing myself every day. New habits and inviting my Lord and Savior to walk this journey with me. After working together for a month, I'm already seeing results. And I even went out of town and still lost 2 pounds. That is freedom. Okay. Not being obsessed over the scale." And then Angela, she says, "Catherine, since we talked on your live, I've had no more problems with sugar." Yes. "And the addiction is gone." Freedom. Addiction isn't freedom, it's bondage. Okay. Praise God. This is my first step. Oh, and no more junk food either, chips, etc. Way to go, Angela. Like, I'm so proud of you. So if you're tired of doing weight loss the world's way and you are ready to say goodbye to diets forever and finally drop the weight for good without deprivation or extreme parameters or obsessing over the scale, then I want to invite you into the group coaching program called Drop the Weight. Okay. Drop the Weight is a 6-month group coaching experience and signature course for spirit-led Christian women who are on a weight loss journey, who are frustrated with failed diets, who are done with wasting money on products and plans that are short-lived, and self-sabotaging behaviors tripping up their weight loss success, who are ready to transform their lives and drop the weight for good with a step-by-step framework for getting healthy from the inside out. So healthy body is totally available for you. You just have to unwrap it. It's only waiting on you. Okay. So how would it feel to actually lose weight without starving or feeling deprived? Like, no more, I can't, I'm on a diet. Like, no more of that. You're not going to be saying that anymore. How would it feel to finally do it in a sustainable way without worrying about the rebound weight gain or like cheat days? And how would it feel to not obsess over the scale, and to create new healthy habits that feel like they belong in your life, to stop battling inconsistency, and to love the creation that God made when you look in the mirror at any weight, to start seeing yourself the way God does and honoring your body as the temple? How would it feel to not run to food to soothe your emotions, and to stop wasting time and money on diets, to release the pain of the past and stop living shame and guilt every time your diet fails? Like, how would it feel? You've been doing what you've been doing this long. And if you think that you can keep doing it and be successful on your own, great. But if you are ready to let some help come in, let some support come in, then this is what I'm offering. I'm offering Drop the Weight for you to enroll in the 6-month group coaching program right now. Drop the Weight is going to teach you how to switch out those quick fixes for long-term healthy habits and exchange emotional eating for healing from the inside out, and rewiring your brain to work with you to establish habits that lead to real transformation so that you can live whole, healed, and healthy. So what's included in the Drop the Weight program? When you join, you're going to get immediate access to the 6-phase signature course and community. You're going to get 2 monthly support calls. So twice a month, we're going to meet as a group. We're going to celebrate your wins. We're going to go over specific phases of the course, and we're going to develop personalized healthy habit creation plans for your weight loss journey. 2 more times a month, we're going to meet for other calls. So we're going to have 4 calls a month for just like a Q&A session. So twice a month, you're going to be able to come. We're going to come together, and you can come with your questions and get help with like stalls, weight loss stalls, mental roadblocks, and things like that in your health journey. We're going to spend dedicated time working through anything that you need regarding your health on those calls twice a month. And all calls are going to be recorded. If you can't show up live, they're going to be put into this membership community that you're also going to get access to, an exclusive Drop the Weight student community group. This is a private group that's exclusive to the Drop the Weight coaching program. Here you're going to connect with like-minded women who are going to encourage and support and help hold each other accountable along the way. You're also going to get weekly meal planning accountability, because failure to plan means planning to fail. So you're going to get weekly meal planning reminders to keep you on track, and accountability to follow through within that exclusive members only student community. And listen, this is not the Pinterest perfect planning. This is meal planning made simple, like simplified beyond the nth degree, because I'm all about simple and easy and not complicating anything. Okay. You're also going to get a monthly healthy habit focus. So we're going to talk about establishing healthy habits, and doing that takes time and it takes work, and it can be really overwhelming to try and implement new habits on your own. So this monthly healthy habit challenge is going to help you focus on just 1 to 3 habit changes and help you to learn the art of setting process goals, all within the student community. And you're also going to get a lifetime access to the Drop the Weight student course, which goes through a beautiful 6-phase framework called the breath process. God actually gave me this. I was like, what do you want me to do with this, Lord? And he showed me, and he gave me this acronym breath, and he gave me exactly what I should do for each of those letters. And it was just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to share some of that with you in just a moment. But he led me to a verse in Genesis 1 where it begins. Okay, we're going back to the beginning, ladies, back to the beginning, because that's where he showed me we're right here. Okay, it starts at the beginning. God cares about food. And I didn't realize, honestly, for the majority of my life, that he cared about food. I had no idea. But in Genesis 1, 29 and 30, he says, then God said, this is from the mouth of the Father, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seeds in it. They will be yours for food, and to all the beasts of the earth, and to all the birds of the sky, and to all the creatures moving on the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it. I give every green plant for food. So he's already telling humanity, this is what we're eating. Here it is. So like he gives them a plan from the beginning for how they should eat, because it's important. Why would he tell Adam that this is what you have for food if it wasn't important, if he could just figure it out on his own, right? Like, no, God gave him instructions. It's beautiful. I just think it's beautiful. And then also in Psalm 150, verse 6, he says, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. And when we do what we do with our walking, breathing, and moving life, we are praising the Lord, or we're not. So as if Scott, I'm so sorry, my nose is itching like crazy today. So if you see me keep doing this, it's just, I don't know, it does this sometimes. But if everything we're doing praises the Lord or it doesn't, then we should really consider our food. Okay. So then he walked me through what each of those, letters for the acronym breath would be. And he showed me, we're going to walk through these phases. And in phase 1 is all about behaviors. Okay. This phase is diving deep into the behaviors that have kept you stuck in that perpetual cycle of poor health and yo-yo dieting. Okay. You're going to take a real look at what hasn't worked for you in the past and why, while discovering the key to true transformation. We're going to be talking about releasing your past attempts to lose weight and starting again, right? So we're starting again for the last time. That your past doesn't define you, but your habits will. We're going to walk through the process and psychology of change so that you know where you're at in that, because that's important. We're going to look at the mindset, which is the key to actually maintaining sustainable weight loss. And we're going to look at what you're doing right now. We're going to take an honest look at your baseline and kind of see where you're at so that you know where you want to go from there. So you just have a good baseline. And then in phase number 2, this is our roots phase. In the roots, we're going to take an inventory of what you believe about yourself and the world around you, including God. This phase walks you through an in-depth root removal by uncovering the lies that are causing the behaviors that are keeping you in that cycle of weight loss regain. Okay. We're going to discover how to hear the voice of God. If you don't know how, you're going to learn. We're going to uncover lies and self-sabotage. We're going to be looking at a healthy view means healthy you, like how you see things, okay? And we're going to walk through how to implement the power of visualization in your life, seeing it before you see it, okay? And steering where you stare. That is such a big part of this course. And in phase 3, we're going to be diving into our emotions. This one is huge because emotions are amazing. God gave them to us, but they can't be allowed to rule our life. I've said that before. I'll say it again. You're going to learn how to not just manage your emotions, but to take authority over them with the power of Christ. You are going to take back your life. You're going to heal your emotions with this formula that I really go into a lot more detail on the course called Feel, Deal, and Heal. We're going to look at having a healthy brain equaling having a healthy body, like the actual organ, not just our thoughts, but the organ that is the brain. We're going to look at releasing the weight of trauma. This is going to be a big one for some of you. And how to stop emotional eating for good, and not something you can Google on the internet, okay? And mind renewal the biblical way. This phase is going to be a wonderful, healing, amazing phase. The first 3 phases are going to go through so much of why we do what we do and really processing that stuff out. And I give you lots of resources to be able to do that. And the last 3 phases, which starts at phase 4, is going to be about the how. So phase 1 through 3 is why, 4 through 6 is how. So phase 4 is our agreements phase. This is a big deal. I've talked about it a little bit throughout this challenge, but in this phase, you're going to discover the powerful hold that agreements, thoughts, and words have in your life. And you're going to demolish strongholds in every lie that has held you captive so that you can live completely free, because it is for freedom that Christ set us free. And in this course, in this phase, you're going to understand what agreements are. You're going to look at, what they are and how to actually break those agreements and word curses that you've spoken over your life, you agree with over your life, or you have someone else has spoken over your life, because power of life and death is in the tongue, okay? And we're also going to be talking about how to reinforce your identity, which is huge, using the reticular activating system. And then in phase 5, we're going to be diving into our thoughts, and it is time to think about what you're thinking about at an even greater level than we already have dived into before. You're going to learn to rewire your brain for weight loss and health from the inside out. In this phase, we're going to look at how your thoughts affect your outcome, how to create new neural pathways, new thought receptors, and we're going to look at the power of Christian meditation. I'm going to give you so much resources and give you some really powerful Christian meditations. But 1 Corinthians 2:16 reminds us that we have the mind of Christ. So if we have the mind of Christ, the old covenant, okay, told us that God, your thoughts are not our thoughts, your ways are not our ways, they're higher. And there's truth in that for sure. But the new covenant, in the New Testament, we are now under a new covenant. We now have the mind of Christ. So if we take off the old and we put on the new, we now have the mind of Christ. So we can have his thoughts. We can have his ways in our life because of Christ, okay? So this is a big deal, something that I was so thankful to have learned when I did. And then also in phase 6, this is the actual practical, like really practical application phase, okay? It's time to start establishing new healthy habits that last. You're gonna learn exactly how, with the proven anchor method, And this practical part of the process is going to teach you simple meal planning strategies, the key to restorative health. We're going to look at how to reduce stress and the power of process goals and formations in your health journey to becoming. This is a very heavy applicable phase. Okay, we're going to be doing lots of applications in this phase. We're going to establish healthy habits with the 1% rule. We're going to look at easy food swaps that you're going to love. We're going to do, excuse me, teachings about loving foods that love you back, which is so amazing and mind blowing for me. It was a huge shift. We're going to look at the good, better, best rule and the power of community and accountability. Within the group coaching and signature course program, you're also going to have access to workbooks, guided prayers, recommended apps lists, habit trackers, weight loss affirmations, support, accountability. You're going to get a journal. You're also going to get over 50 training sessions in this signature course. You're going to get a trauma prayer for healing your emotions. And you're going to get a PDF of who you are in Christ scriptures, just for you to be able to pull up really quickly at any time you're feeling like, I'm just not doing so good. I don't love myself, all the things. You're going to get weight loss stall busting strategy. You're going to get 10 ways to shift your mindset for weight loss and so much more in this course. It's amazing that God's graced me to even do this, to be honest with you ladies. Okay. But I want to share with you a little bit about what Miss Pam has said. In the past, I've worked with her, and Pam says, Catherine helped me to learn how to eat. I wasn't actually eating enough and how to be healthy in my weight loss. She said, I'm still maintaining the loss of 30 plus pounds. Yay. And she's amazing at communicating and encouraging you by her knowledge and caring heart for ladies. I'm so thankful for you, Pam, and your success. It's so awesome. I'm really excited about that. All right. So after Drop the Weight, you are going to stop wasting time and money, because you're going to keep the weight off by learning not only what to do for weight loss, but how to think. There's no more restrictive starvation diets that teach huge weight loss with little to no effort or time. You're going to banish emotional eating. You're going to learn how to feel your feelings and not eat them. Willpower is not going to work here. Okay. You're going to be equipped with the tools and the truths that you need to say goodbye to emotional eating and sabotaging behaviors. You are going to establish healthy habits. So no more short-term behavior modifications here. You're going to be transformed from the inside out. You're going to learn how identity affects your outcome and the secret of the 1% method. So before you can put on your new self, like we talked about, you have to put off the old. So we're going to be really addressing taking off the old and putting on the new so much in this renewal. Being transformed by the renewal of your mind is so big. So you're also going to get some amazing bonuses as part of the program. You're going to get over $500 in free bonuses when you join us. You're going to get an ebook. I wrote a book last year, published it last year. I should say I wrote it for 3 years, but I published it last year in September of 2021, called Behind Enemy Lies. It is my story of coming out of severe abuse and into a life of freedom, free from the chains of the pain of the past, and just sharing what all God did in my life and how he used even my eating. I write a lot about that in the book. So you're going to get my book. A free ebook is going to be sent to you right away. And you're also going to get the ebook version of the Healing and Truth Journal for you to download, and you can print that out if you'd like to. And you're also going to get 30 weight loss affirmations. You're going to get a video and an audio and a PDF of 30 weight loss affirmations. And these are just really powerful ways to start retraining your brain to think the thoughts that you need to think for weight loss. I did this video, like a year and a half ago, and it has been wonderful, these affirmations that God gave me. You're also going to get a special video training to decrease anxiety naturally, because so many of us suffer under the hand of anxiety, and I am done with it. Okay. Like, I'm done with it. And part of the course teaches you actually about the power of having like gratitude, and how gratitude affects your mind in a certain way, and really teach you that how gratitude takes the place of anxiety at a physiological level, like it happens in your brain and you don't even do anything. It just happens. I'm like, God, you already knew that we were going to be battling anxiety because you told us, cast all your cares, cast all your anxieties, cast them, throw them, throw all those anxieties on me because I care for you. That's what God told us. So he already knew that we were going to be battling anxiety. And then he says, and with thanksgiving, make all your requests known to God, and the peace of God that surpasses all your understanding will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus. That is one of my favorite verses. I have so held on to that verse, but there's actual like scientific proof now that they're like, hey, there might be something to this scripture. Yeah, there is. So we're going to go through that. And then you're going to get a healthy habits tracker pack. You're going to get a fitness planner and tracker. I am not a fitness instructor at all, but I am going to give you the tools you need to be able to be accountable to intentional movement on a regular basis. Okay. So Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Drop the weight is going to help you uncover the lies, those strongholds and agreements and limiting beliefs as you walk through the process to demolish and break each one of them. Okay. So what's brought into the light no longer has power to control you or trip you up because you have the mind of Christ. And now it's time to walk in your authority. It is time. It's time, sister. Like, let's go. Let's get this done. Okay. Let's do it. And then also when you register and join within the first 48 hours, because today's the first official day of opening registration. When you join before Saturday night, you're also going to get these awesome bonuses included. You're going to get a Jumpstart Your Weight Loss Stalls masterclass, and you're going to get a Christian meditation for anxiety video and audio download. So the bonus number one is going to be a video that's going to give you 6 easy ways to jumpstart your weight loss and push through those stalls. Okay. Small changes do lead to big results. And this training is going to show you exactly which ones to focus on so that you get results that last. Okay. Bonus number 2 is the Christian meditation for anxiety. With this peaceful guided meditation, you are going to enter into the promises of Psalms 91 as you listen to the sound of soft rain. Who doesn't love soft rain? You're going to reduce anxiety with the word of God by taking a pause from your day and recentering your mind on what is true. So when you join now, you're going to get 4 monthly support calls. You're going to get weekly meal planning accountability, exclusive student community group. You're going to get monthly healthy habit focus, lifetime access to the signature course, and you're going to get all of that value is $13,000, ladies, like over $13,000 worth of value in just that. Plus you're getting all those bonuses. You're going to get the eBooks. You're going to get the weight loss affirmations. You're going to get the training to decrease your anxiety naturally. And you're going to get the healthy habits and the fitness planner tracker packs. So all of that is over $500. So that total value of everything that I just shared with you is about $13,855. But guess what? You don't have to pay that, okay? Because this is the brand new founder's fee price that you're going to be getting. You can join now and get all of this awesome stuff for only $14.97. And if you need a payment plan, I do have that available to ladies. If you need that, please just reach out to me personally, and you can send me an email or send me a message on Messenger saying I'd like information about the payment plan. You can get this whole program for 6 payments of only $297. So if you are tired of wasting money, it's time to quit doing that. Okay. You're not going to be wasting money here. This is a great investment in your health. So quit wasting time and money on diets that overpromise and underdeliver. So if you've been pouring your hard-earned money into the $60 billion a year diet industry, isn't it time that you invested in transformation that's going to last? Like, think about this. Like, that $5 a day coffee filled with sugar is costing you $100 a month, if that's a habit that you have. And it's leading you to make more unhealthy choices throughout the day. Staying the same is going to cost you too. Doing nothing is still going to cost you because a triple bypass costs around $150,000. Prescription drugs to balance out your blood sugar, blood pressure, poor mental health, the list goes on, costs a lot. And most of these issues are a result of your poor health habits. So invest in true health, ladies, because you are worth it. A healthy body inside and out is available for you. It is. You just have to unwrap it. So right now you can join the Drop the Weight community and just register. This is a link to register. You can just go. So it's time to learn how to feel those emotions so that you can deal with them and heal from them. It's time to learn how to establish healthy habits so that you'll want to do, what you say you're do, that you'll want to be consistent. It's time to uproot those lies and replant truth so that your thoughts and behaviors are life-giving and nourishing. It's time to connect with a community of like-minded women who are all walking out their journeys to better health and support and better health. You're going to get support and encouragement and even accountability through this 6-month group coaching program that is totally going to transform how you do health. So you can register. Registration is open currently right now. Again, you can just copy this link right here. I'll also put the link in the notes for you guys here in the chat here in just a few minutes. And I'm going to be sharing with you the link so that you guys can join the giveaway. Okay. So just a quick reminder, if you do register before Saturday night, that you're going to get these extra 48-hour bonuses. So you'll want to jump on this as soon as possible. You're going to get the Jumpstart Weight Loss Stalls Masterclass, and you're going to get a Christian meditation for anxiety, video and audio. So if you are curious, you want to have more questions, and you have things you want to talk about, please book a call with me. Make sure that you do that before registration closes, because it will be closing. I'm only leaving this open for a few days. I think I have 5 days to allow women to come in, because I want to have space to work with a certain amount of women and be able to give them my attention to. So make sure you grab your spot, because when the spots are filled and registration closes, you'll have to wait till the next time. And why wait? Because if you've already been doing what you've been doing this long and it hasn't worked for you, why wait? Let's do this now. Why wait till January when you can already go into the holidays saying, I have a better mindset for this, and I know that I can eat this, but I'm choosing not to, or I'm only going to eat, are you making up your mind? I'm only going to eat this, whatever, I'm not going to eat that. Like, just helpful. Like, you don't have to throw caution to the wind and say, I'm just going to deal with it in January. We can start dealing with it right now. Okay. So there's no time like the present. Okay. And I also really want to encourage you that if you feel this tug, if you feel this tug on the inside of you, that you feel like the Holy Spirit's saying, this is it. This is for you. I have this for you. I would highly encourage you to be obedient to that, because when I decided to say yes to something that was scary and new, that's when God, because I felt him tugging on me for a long time, and I was very disobedient, and I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. And I didn't. And I just kept not figuring it out. And it was so frustrating. And then finally I was like, okay, I surrender. I really do. Here's my white flag. I surrender. I can't do this on my own. There's no way. And so I laid it all down. I said, I don't know what I'm doing. God, teach me what I need to unlearn, and then help me to learn what you want me to know, because so much of the things the world teaches comes in and taints our view of things from God's perspective. And so I had to unlearn a bunch of things. I still am unlearning a bunch of things in a lot of ways. I think it's a process. And until we get to the end of our lives, we'll be in this process. Okay. So I just want to encourage you with that. If you feel that tug, be obedient to that, because there's blessing on the other side of obedience. That is also scripturally true. I teach that to my son all the time. I'm like, obedience brings blessing. I always teach him that too. A good friend of mine showed me that that's kind of a thing. I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize, but it does. And so he cares a lot about your health. He cares a lot about it, or else why would he have started out in the beginning telling us about what food is good for our bodies? And it doesn't mean you should just eat trees and seeds and just green things. I'm just saying that he cares. Okay. He'll tell you specifically what you need to be eating. And he's come to heal. He's already healed your body of every disease, every sickness, sickness, every ailment, every illness. He's already come and done all of that. It's already been done when Jesus was nailed to the cross. Okay. You just have to receive it. You just have to walk in authority that you've been given. You just have to let the junk, like get it out, like clean it out, and then refill with the good stuff, with the truth. Okay. And that's really the part of this process that I get the most excited about, is that yes, you're going to lose weight. Yes, you're going to get healthier physically, but you're really going to be walking away from this in a much healthier state mentally as well. That is definitely my heart's passion and cry for God's daughters, is that they would walk in true health, because hurting people hurt people, and healthy people heal people. Okay. So when you're healthy or you're healed, you can walk around and heal other people. And when you're not, it just doesn't work. And when you care enough, when you feel good about yourself, like I said yesterday, you do good for yourself. When you don't feel good about yourself and you're beating yourself up and you're calling yourself all those terrible names that I've been seeing in your homework, you're not going to do good for yourself. You may be able to do it for a short period of time, but you're not going to be able to stick with it. So if you're done with all of this mess, now's the time, ladies. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the link here in the chat to the giveaway. So if you give me just a second, I'll pull that up for you and I'll make sure that you get that. It's just going to be in the chat for the Zoom room. So jump on in here. If you haven't got in here, now is your time. Okay. Now is your time for sure. So give me just a second and I'll stick that in the chat. All you have to do is go to this little link that I'm sending you. If I can get my little thing to work, there we go. Go ahead and click on that link, just fill out the form, and then make sure that you've done all the other things that you need to do in your homework so that you are eligible for the giveaway, and look for that. I'll be announcing it in the group tomorrow. And then I will also be sending you an email personally, letting you know what you've won and what your next steps are. If I need to get your address, if I need to get you my calendar because you've won an hour, whatever that looks like. So I'm so excited and thrilled for where God has us going on this journey next, ladies, together. I'm excited for everybody that He has already purposed to work with me in this group coaching and signature course. And I'm really excited to be able to just let the fruits of my labor bless you, because I'm really excited about that. So let me know if you have any questions, and if you want to register, go ahead and get registered. I'm going to put the link to that. It'll be right in the Facebook group. Actually, right after this call, you're going to see a post where you can just click and go right to where you can register before Saturday night to get your 48-hour bonuses, and then before Monday. Okay. For everybody else. If you need a payment plan once more, please reach out to me and let me know, and I will make sure that you get that. Okay, so that's it for today, ladies. If you have any questions, I'm going to be open to that right now. But I'm going to just stop streaming real quick onto the Facebook group, and then we'll just have this private Q&A for just a few minutes. Okay, so just give me just a second. We're going to stop streaming on Facebook. If you're watching over there, go ahead and click and come on over. Okay, come on over to the Zoom room.